What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rebuilding the Green Bay Packers TFGO League Edition. Now, I know I have not been putting out the gameplay or really many features in this series too often. It's kind of fallen to the back. You can follow all of these games on Twitch. It's a big reason I've kind of pushed this series aside for the Raiders and some of my other videos. But I don't want to forget about this series because this league really is something special. 25-page rule book. Every user is super invested. It's just been so much fun getting this league just created, and we're still adding new stuff, taking stuff away. It's been such a great time, so I don't want to forget about it. This video is going to be kind of a recap of what happened towards the end of last season, heading into now our first week, which is going to be as early as tomorrow as of this recording. And I'm going to try and keep up with this series. But again, you guys, if you do like this stuff and you want to see how the games are going, do follow me on Twitch. Every game is streamed live there. I have to apologize for some pretty annoying connection issues that I've had over the last 2 weeks, trying to stop that from happening so much. But anyway, last season we made it into the playoffs, but we went in kind of hobbled. Davante Adams was actually injured. Kind of a disappointing end for Adams, who did lead the league in receiving yards despite missing the last 10 quarters of football. And he was the favorite for best wide receiver up until week 17, but he did get passed up by Brandon Cooks. So he missed out on a little bit of extra XP, but he did end up getting superstar development, enters the year as a 90 overall and a total beast. So really excited for what Davante is going to bring to the table. And we'll go through this whole roster here after we wrap up the playoffs. But we went in the first round. We dominated defensively, took care of the Seahawks. It was like 38-7. Really played a nice, clean game there. But then the next week, we played our worst or second worst game of the year. Both of our bad games last year came against the Rams. So we did lose in the divisional round. Really wasn't even that close. Props to Grimy. I need to play better. Not having my receivers. Also missing in that game was Randall Cobb and Equinemius St. Brown. So we really were down to some scrubs offensively, and going up against those Rams corners was a problem for us. But we actually get the Rams week 1 at Lambeau Field. So we get a shot at early redemption here. And that game could be as early as like Friday, I would say. I probably won't play it during Thursday Night Football, but that's going to be a great one. I will try and get a recap of that game up here, but no promises on that. So we fall out of the playoffs. We come up short, a little disappointing, and luckily, as we entered into the regression stage, RODGERS did not regress at all. We really didn't face any big regression at all. We do counter regression of all players 31 and younger, but RODGERS would have been subject if he did get hit with regression to go down. But he's going to keep the speed, the throw power. We really got to capitalize, because I don't think he's going to keep that heading into his 36-year-old season. Not that he's going to be bad at 36, but we really want to capitalize on that. Jimmy Graham is really the one guy that did regress, but still not hit too bad. Just one speed, really just ones across the board. So we're going to survive there. He does drop 6 catching, which is definitely unfortunate. So he wasn't that big of a factor to begin with, but definitely getting phased out. Probably going to end up releasing him after this season. We will take a cap hit to do that. And then as far as our franchise tag and re-signing situation goes, we ended up not using our franchise tag. We were thinking on the defensive side we might use it on the likes of Clay Matthews or Muhammad Wilkerson. And you are getting a little spoiler at what transpired in free agency and the draft here, but we actually were able to bring back Clay Matthews on a 2-year contract for about $18 million. So I do like that deal. The bonus isn't too much. So if we decide to move on next year after he regresses, then we may do that. And some of the moves we made in the offseason are going to make it a little easier to do that. But at the time, we were really worried about that edge rush and making sure we had a number 2 outside of Nick Perry, who already isn't elite. So we bring back Clay Matthews, and we actually let Muhammad Wilkerson go. Thought about the franchise tag. It was going to be a little too much. We have a rule in this league where if a player makes a certain amount of money with another team, you actually get cap relief. So I was willing to let Muhammad Wilkerson test the market. If he got big offers, I was going to let him go and just take, $4 million in cap space added to what I had to play with. But let's go ahead and move on and talk about the free agency. So we did kind of make a splash this offseason. You can see KJ Wright, Jason McCourty, and Cameron Wake down there, as well as bringing Muhammad Wilkerson back. So we spent pretty much all the money we had. Wilkerson was getting some offers, but we were able to get him on a 1-year, $12 million deal, which was about $8 million less than what the franchise tag was going to cost us. So good to get him back. We got a lot of depth at D-line. We really only start 2 of these guys, Clark and Daniels. Wilkerson only played about a third of snaps last year anyway, and then Dean Lowry's no joke. So really happy with our D-line. And then on the edge, bringing in Cam Wake here is going to be huge. We've got a lot of guys to rotate. We drafted a guy as well that we'll talk about. But then the other big signing here was KJ Wright. We do end up paying him $11 million in a 1-year contract. Big reason we went after him was Hawking, kind of the king of this league, was going after him. Seahawks fan, was the Seahawks last year. And he's definitely our #1 threat for the Super Bowl. No offense to anyone in the NFC. But I'm feeling, fairly confident that we can get there this year. We had a slip up last year, but felt good going into the playoffs, and definitely didn't want KJ Wright in the hands of Hawking there. Blake Martinez is going to be on the trade block, by the way, for anyone in the league watching this video. I'll show his card real quick. Great player. Really big Blake Martinez fan. It's going to be really tough to see him go. Yeah. So the rest of the free agency here, we bring in Jason McCourty. He's going to play safety for us, but we did draft a safety that we'll talk about. Not sure if McCourty's going to start or frankly even make this team. And then let's see. I think that's about it for the free agents. We did just pick up Cole Beasley. This was not during free agency. This was a regular season pickup. He's going to get some playing time. We like our receivers here, but it's good to have that kind of handy slot guy, as most of our receivers are a little bigger. So now let's talk about the draft, the part all you guys are waiting for. So we had a really good draft. We had a ton of picks. We had 2 first-round picks. So our first one was at 19, and I was really happy with this pick. And he's a little bit of an awkward fit for our team right now, but Clelin Ferrell, he was clearly the best value at this pick. He's a projected top 10 guy, a really good pass rusher. Now, he's more of a 4-3 end, and we do run a 3-4, so he's going to get some rotational reps in kind of our 3-3-5 package, some of our nickel blitz packages. He'll get some reps, but he's really just going to sit for a year. And I would say there's a chance we end up moving to some kind of a 4-3 look. I think the Jets playbook might have 3-4 base with that 4-2-5 nickel. So we might end up switching to that playbook because Ferrell really is meant to play as a 4-3 end. He's got pretty good run defenses as well for an edge guy. So really excited for him, just 21 years old. But then we picked 26th, and we had a lot of players that we still liked there. I was thinking about a tight end, another defensive back, but we did get a trade offer that we just simply could not turned down from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We picked up the 2nd pick in the 2nd round and the 2nd pick in the 3rd round to move down just 8 spots. And with that pick, we took DENIS, who I actually was willing to take in the 1st round at 26, but I felt decently confident we could get him in the 2nd round, and we did. So that move really pays off. I mean, this guy's a total stud, the highest zone coverage of any safety in the class. Good athlete, quick development. I am believing right now that he's going to start over Devin McCourty at that free safety position. And you might be wondering why we thought this was a need, because we do have 2 safeties here. Josh Jones played a lot for us, but Jones really is that sub linebacker for us. And I don't love him deep. We do use him a lot, but we also use a lot of 3 safety sets. Big nickel being one of them, the big dime package that brings that safety into that middle linebacker position. So we really do need 3 safeties in my scheme. So really happy to pick up DENIS. It's going to allow me to keep Clinton Dix more in that box role, that starting strong safety role, where I think he's a little better Doesn't quite have the range you like for a true center fielder, but really happy with the secondary, as of course we have our 3 just freak athlete corners. But our next pick was actually another corner, Kendall Sheffield out of Ohio State. So this would have been our original second round pick, 26th pick in the second round. Just normal development, but 22 years old, absolute freak of nature, 6 feet tall, super athletic there. Decent man coverage, press, you know, he's going to have to develop, but the nice thing is he's not going to have to start for us. He's a guy that can come in if we get an injury, but really just nice depth there from Kendall Sheffield. We only had 3 corners. We knew we needed to get one, and the value was too good at that spot. So then we had the early pick in the 3rd round that we got from the Bucks, and we go receiver here as we take Parris Campbell, another Buckeye. So a couple Buckeyes here in the day 2 of the draft, and Campbell's a beast. I'm not sure if he's going to start or not. It wasn't a huge need for us, but this is a guy that you see that short route running. He can definitely play in the slot, but we have Equanimeous St. Brown here with quick development, and we signed Cole Beasley. So, you know, we suffered those injuries to wide receiver at the end of last season, and we really noticed how quickly our depth can fall off. And I should also note, before I forget, that we have our player review process where every user is allowed to submit to me 2 players, 1 offense, 1 defense, who kind of had a breakout season and outperformed their Madden player card. So the 2 guys that I submitted for this were Jamon Moore as a 70 overall, finished as a finalist for Offensive Rookie of the Year and Best Wide Receiver, had 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns, like 65 receptions. So he gets a big boost to his route running and his awareness to go from 71 to a 76. So we have that true number 2 right now with Jamon Moore. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we did go with JAIRE Alexander, as he's going to receive star development from that, and then a slight boost to his awareness and play rec that brought him from a 79 to an 80. He made the Pro Bowl as a rookie with 6 interceptions and a really good season. So he's entering year 2, just a total stud, and he's gained a bunch of acceleration and agility in his development upgrades. So he's going to be a total stud as this league continues to go on. So we'll take a look at the rest of our draft class here. With our 2nd, 3rd round pick, we picked up Irv Smith, and this was a pick that everyone in the chat was disappointed in me taking him. Irv with 86 speed, 86 acceleration, 85 agility, I believe. Not a whole lot else to speak of, but at 21 years old, the 6'4" tight end, he could be the guy, as Jimmy Graham's going to get phased out here for sure. And then in the 4th round, we picked JoJo McIntosh, just another safety, adding depth here. Good athlete, bigger guy, kind of versatile player, so excited to bring him in. Probably not going to play a whole lot, but that's all right. And then I can't quite remember, but these were, 5th, 6th, 7th round. Albert Agwegbunam, really good blocker at 6'5". I compare this guy to CJ Uzama for the Bengals, so he's definitely going to play for us. We also got Ryan Izzo here. I'm pretty happy with the young tight ends we got here. I feel pretty good moving forward. And then we pick up David Edwards. This guy's a stud. Run blocking, tackle. Had to pick up a Badger here to keep home. And then our final pick was Mark Fields here out of Clemson. He's a guy that can play in the slot, cover kicks, versatile corner, and a good athlete. So that was my draft. Really happy with my draft. I'm definitely biased, but I do think I had one of the best drafts in this league. Probably not the best, but on that topic, I did want to run through who I think had the best drafts. I'm not going to do the worst drafts. I'm not going to be mean here, but I thought the Patriots really nailed this draft. 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. So they are able to pick Terrell Lewis here in the 4th round. 72 overall, quick development, 21 years old, versatile D-end out of Alabama. Definitely a Bill Belichick type of player there. They grab Porter Gustin, a guy that's kind of like Clay Matthews. He looks like him, but he plays the same role out of USC. Pass rusher, quick development, 22 years old. So that's a great pick. And then to get Dexter Lawrence here in the 2nd round, total steal. 21 years old, just a great nose tackle. So really beefing up that front seven for the Patriots. It's the same approach he took with his Lions team in the last, Madden 18 league. He had a lot of success going that route. So a good draft for the Patriots. Make sure you're following Jam34 on YouTube. He's making content for this league. I'll put the link in the description there. And then for the Raiders, had a really good draft, I thought. They pick up Bryce Love in the first round along with A.J. Brown. So they get some explosive players there, the best receiver and the best running back in the class. Some other good picks as well. Chris Lindstrom out of Boston College, and Mac Wilson, linebacker out of Alabama. And I thought the Chiefs had a really good draft here. They pick up 3 rookies, 70 overall and up. So Devin Bush, little undersized, but a really good instinctive athletic linebacker out of Michigan. They get him in the mid-rounds. Trayvon Mullen, one of the better corners in this class out of Clemson. They take Lester Cotton, one of the sleeper guards, and Stanley Morgan, receiver with star development here. I believe he was the first-round pick, maybe second. But the Chiefs with a really good draft, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars with a really good draft as well. So they end up getting Greg Little early in this draft, the best lineman in this class by far. So they get the left tackle they need. But then, Sharif Miller, way at the end of this class, he might have been Mr. Irrelevant or the second to last pick, but that's a good pick. Quick development, 22 years old. Really surprised he didn't go. And then James Gardner went in the second round. Big-bodied receiver. Probably don't really need receiver, but still a good pick. But the big one here, Trace McSorley, he trades up, takes him in the first round. The star development for the Baker Mayfield-esque prospect there, Trace McSorley. And the BB gun will be taking a seat, I would assume, there in Jacksonville. And then Detroit in our division, I thought kind of nailed this draft. Ed Oliver, can't go wrong picking him. Not looking forward to playing Ed Oliver twice a year, not gonna lie. That Detroit pass rush just got a lot better, as so did their run defense. And then Noah Fant, he was the guy I was probably gonna take with that second overall pick of mine, their second round pick. But he goes the pick before me, so steals him from right under my grasp. But that's all right. I like the guy we got. But then he also takes Joe Gaziano out of Northwestern. So the D-line here for Detroit is going to get a big boost this year, and a good draft for them all around. And then overall, the draft wasn't the best for the Cowboys, but I did think he had the best pick of the draft with Derrick Brown. This was like the 16th pick or something, but 79 overall, star development, 21 years old, absolute monster, and a huge position of need for Dallas. This reminded me kind of the Derwin James pick in real life for the Chargers. So there's the recap. I hope I covered everything. A reminder that I will be playing the Rams very soon. You can get the exact time for that on Twitter. Make sure you're following at TFGO League to get all of the updates on this league. You can follow the league on our website, the Daddy Leagues page, and of course on Twitch. All of those links are in the description, so make sure you're staying up to date on all your TFGO goodies. I also believe my boy Justin Case just put out a podcast for kind of a recap of the offseason. I'll try and get that link in the description as well. So hit that like button if you enjoyed. Really how much content I put out for this series is going to depend on how much interest you guys show. I want to commit my time to what I think most of my viewers want to see. So don't be shy, be vocal about what I'm making, and it doesn't just apply to this video, that's all across the board, Feedback is always welcome, good or bad. So cheers as always, guys. We'll see you next time.